What's up guys, Asian here again with another theory crafting video, and today we're going to be going over the sorcerer and whether blue Moondancer jewelry is better than gold IA jewelry. So there's something that a lot of people have always said, and that's that blue Moondancer jewelry will always outperform gold IA jewelry, but people never really say by how much. Is it a noticeable difference? Is it something that you're really going to be able to see in a raid scenario? So this video hopefully answers that today. So what we're going to be doing is basically going to be comparing gold IA jewelry to blue Moondancer jewelry, keeping everything else pretty much exactly the same. So we're just going to be swapping out Moondancer and IA. So the previous video I did comparing Moondancer and IA didn't actually compare Gold IA versus Blue Moondancer. It was a one-to-one comparison, or as close to one-to-one as we can make it. So we actually had purple jewelry for both, and that's kind of what we were comparing in that previous video. This video is about, does the quality of the jewelry actually matter? Now if we take a look at Gold IA, when you have completely golded IA, compared to Moondancer, the only thing that's going to be different is going to be the two-piece effect. So Gold IA gives you 833 spell crit, however Blue Moondancer gives you 1032 max magicka. Now obviously it's going to be a little bit different, just because, let's actually put those on right now actually, because you do have the gold staff here, so that does increase the max magicka you get to 1045, but it also decreases the 4-piece effect down from 129 to 123 spell damage. So it is a very small decrease in the amount of spell damage that you get, and a very small increase from the max magicka you get from the blue jewelry. So the question is, does that very small drop in spell damage, as combined with the higher spell crit, does that push Gold IA over Blue Moondancer, or is the max magicka from Moondancer still going to push you ahead of Gold IA? So that's what we're going to be answering today. So what we're going to be doing is basically going to keep everything basically the same. The only thing we're going to be changing are going to be the jewelry. So we're going to be swapping out Blue Moondancer for Gold IA. Now we are using 2 spell damage and 1 magicka regen glyph, so we're going to keep those glyphs exactly the same. But everything else is going to be exactly the same. In terms of weapons, we'll be sticking with a infused lightning front bar with a shock damage enchant, and we'll be sticking with a VMA lightning Nirnhone with a weapon damage enchant. 2-piece Lambris, 5-piece Julianos. We're going to be doing this on a non-pet build. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be starting off with the blue Moondancer. Now I do already have several parses already stored up, so we will be able to get a average and compare their averages across both of these various combinations. So that is our Moondancer parse. And then we're going to go ahead and swap out our jewelry to gold Infallible Aether, as well as our weapon here, to make sure we have enough charges. Gonna get back our ultimate, and then we're going to reparse with the gold IA. So the general idea here is Moondancer has traditionally always been touted as being superior to IA. However, Gold Moondancer only comes from Vet Maw, so it's a lot more difficult to get gold Moondancer jewelry compared to Gold IA jewelry. Gold IA will come from any of the Vet Craglorn trials. So if you guys already know, probably already guessed, that the Kraglin trial is a lot easier to complete compared to the Vet Maw. So if you can't get Gold Moondancer, the next best thing for Moondancer is going to be Purple Moondancer. And that's going to be coming from the chest that you find in Vet Maw, so you don't have to complete it to get purple jewelry, or gold jewelry I should say. And it also comes from the weekly coffer that you get for completing the quest associated with Maw. So without clearing Vet Maw, the highest quality you can possibly get is going to be purple. So depending on the results that we get here, we'll also be able to make a conclusion based on comparing it against purple jewelry. Or at least we'll be able to get a sense of whether purple jewelry is going to also outperform or is going to underperform compared to gold IA. A bit of a hiccup there. Alright, and we are done. So that is the gold IA parse. So let's take a look at our combat metrics. And we'll also be recording these parses in our spreadsheet here. So this is the gold IA parse. We got 32,504. And if we take a look at our Moondancer parse, we got 32,784. So it does appear that Moondancer does pull ahead of IA. However, this is only one parse, so do keep that in mind. So if we take a look at our spell crit here, on average for the Moondancer parse, we're looking at 52.3 compared to 56.2 on our IA parse. So let's go ahead and swap over to our spreadsheet here. Alright, looks like I have disconnected from the internet. Silly little ISP, but that's not a big deal because we already have everything stored here. So if we take a look at our parses here, we have Blue Moondancer on the left-hand side, we have Gold IA on the right-hand side here. These are our averages, and these are our standard deviations, and this is the percentage difference between them. So just taking a look here real quick, we can see that the highest parse does belong to the Blue Moondancer at just over 34k. We can pretty much call it 34k flat. The highest parse in comparison for Gold IA is 33.9, so it's a pretty close comparison there. If we take a look at the lowest parse, 32,784 compared to 32,504, it's only a 250-ish, 280 DPS difference there. And if we take a look at our averages here, we're only at a 30 DPS difference between Blue Moondancer and Gold IA, which results in a less than 0.1% difference to Moondancer. So do keep in mind this is only 6 parses across each, so it is a fairly small sample size. It's not a very robust sample size, but it is definitely enough to let us draw some conclusions based on what we've seen. So just based on this, we can see that Blue Moondancer does have the potential to outparse Gold IA. However, the difference is very close. It is almost too close to call. So really here, I would recommend just going with whatever jewelry set you manage to get first. If you manage to get your Moondancer jewelry set first, then great, use Blue Moondancer. If you happen to get your Gold IA jewelry set first, then go with Gold IA. Just be aware that a lot of groups do require you to pull a certain amount of DPS in order to join them for Vet Kraglorn trials. The Vet Kraglorn trials are the easiest vet trials to complete. Vet AA and Vet HRC, for instance, a lot of groups only ask for 20k DPS, but if you compare that to the ease in getting Blue Moondancer, all you have to do is run Maw on normal. That is also an option there. For those of you who also don't have Thieves Guild DLC, don't think you're necessarily going to be gimping yourself by not getting Thieves Guild and not having access to Maw. We can see here that Gold IA still pulls very respectable DPS and pretty much pulls equal to Blue Moondancer. Now, if we were comparing gold to gold, you know, the one-to-one comparison that we did in our previous video, then yes, the difference does end up being a lot more drastic. However, here it seems like the gold quality of the IA jewelry is managing to push IA up to match Blue Moondancer. So that's pretty much it for this video. The conclusion is basically Moondancer does actually pull ahead, just not by an appreciable margin at all. So just go with whatever jewelry sets you manage to find first, go with whatever staff you manage to find first. So that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys found it informative, and I'll see you guys in the next dungeon.